Are you ready for a rewarding career in the electrical industry? Quality Electric of the Coastal Carolinas, QECC, is looking for qualified electricians and electrical helpers to join its Charleston team. QECC offers guaranteed full-time hours, make up to $30 per hour with possible performance bonuses and career growth opportunities. Enjoy benefits like health insurance, dental and vision coverage, 401k plans, and more. If you're a motivated, experienced electrician, this job is for you. QECC is an equal opportunity employer. For all job inquiries, send email to hr@qeccinc.com.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is 321 The Pod.
Okay, you're here on 321 The Pod. What's going on? It's 3 stories, 2 idiots, and 1 game. My name is Chris Donovan, 1 idiot, and that is Eric. What's going on, man?
Question for you. Did we agree that we're 2 idiots? Or, I mean, does someone give us that label?
No. I think we pretty much agreed on it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Listen, if it's you and I calling each other idiots, I'm pretty well aware that we're idiots. But if it's other people calling us idiots, I think I'd like to fight, is what I would like to do. Them's fighting words is what.
How is that anything new in your world?
It's not. I'm just sick.
Everybody knows.
Damn it. I've been called an idiot for 40 some odd years now, and I'm sick and tired of it. No, you're absolutely right. We are absolutely 2 idiots. Formerly, we really should have been better at what we did. And now we're just 2 idiots that have 3 stories and have a game to play.
We're doing it better.
We're doing it slightly better, just didn't have the same ring to it. So I like this. This is great. We always love talking stories anyways, and I feel that this is a great way for us to really just show how big of an idiot we are, which is what the world wants.
Well, with the choices of these stories, it's not going to take them long.
Right. And I think that leads us right into it. Right. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get it kick-started with my first story.
Story 1.
I am not what you would call cool, or what the young kids called hip. I don't know if that's still the lingo they use because I'm old, but I don't really
had one replaced though. He's had one replaced.
Yes, I do actually. Yeah, you're right. I actually need another one done too. But the point is I'm not typically up on trending, hashtags that are trending or TMZ stories that are trending. I guess I'm just not cool enough to be.
He thought Kardashian was a cute way to say gesundheit.
I really did. I just found out who Kim Kardashian is. That's a lie. I saw the sex tape before anyone. Anyways,
you recorded it.
Are you kidding me? I'm one of the people who shared it on LimeWire. LimeWire. Yeah. That's how long ago that was. That website doesn't exist. Anyways. So this one caught me by surprise because I actually know what's going on in this story, and that is the story of Adam Levine from that horrible band Maroon 5. He's basically denying that he has had an affair with a model and saying he crossed the line with his flirty messages. And so to kind of catch you up on it,
I don't know what's going on here.
Right. He's cheating on his pregnant wife, right? He's her name is Summer and she's 23. He's 43, by the way. So congrats on that one, Mr. Maroon 5.
Wow.
So she claims that they saw each other for about a year. And so she shared screenshots of these like private messages that she sent. And the message in particular, what really started trending was, quote, "It's truly unreal how effing hot you are," is what he wrote to her. Whoa. And he said, "You are 50 times hotter in person, and I am so hot for you." He's denied an affair with her, right? But and here's his quote. You could tell this is written by a publicist. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious matter. This is what he said on Instagram, which, by the way, now we're to the point in our society where people are releasing statements on Instagram. Remember when it used to just be like a news story? Like now it's like on Instagram.
Because nobody trusts the news. You got to get it straight from the cow's mouth.
That's true.
Wait,
well, he says, my family is all I care about in this world. And to be this naive and stupid enough, the only thing that truly matters to me is that I can help correct this greatest mistake that I could ever make. Well, first of all, let's just judge if it was a mistake or not. Have you seen pictures of this Summer, who this 23-year-old?
Yes.
I don't think it was a mistake. I say good on you.
On her.
Because he totally did. First of all, are we so ignorant at this point in our society that we don't think that the lead singer of a band that only chicks like have you ever met a straight male who is interested in Maroon 5? No, it's gay men and women who like that band. So the fact that he got some tail on the side, I think, should be the least surprising part of this. Like, did we all of a sudden just think that rock stars kept their the willy in their pants and like didn't participate on the road and get roadhead? You know,
that's definitely something that happens in the past and still happens, probably just not as public. But this dude, pregnant wife, is probably the worst part of the whole story.
I know. That's the part that kills it. I actually am in fully support of this guy scoring some hot tail on the road, because I feel that as a male rock star, you're almost required to do drugs, drink in excess, party a little hard, and sleep with women. I think that's like, it comes with the territory, right? But don't get married then. Like,
yes, don't get married.
Don't get married, and don't do it while your wife's pregnant. I think is kind of another like maybe rule. That rule number 1 is don't do it. Don't get married if you plan on just chasing tail all the time. Rule 2 is if you do get married and you still want to cheat, still probably not a good idea, but definitely don't do it when your wife is pregnant. That's like, because then that makes everyone hate you. Like if this was just Adam Levine scoring some hot piece of ass on the side, I think we're all like, hey, good on you, man. Congratulations. But when you say pregnant wife at home, you go, okay.
Yeah, that's where it hurts the most. But it's funny, you said, if you're a rock star and you're going to do all those things, don't be married. It's kind of funny. All those things are the exact same thing the governor of California does.
You're right.
And still got his housekeeper pregnant, which was really
which by the way, when you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're telling me you can't get someone hotter than that ugly ass housekeeper.
It was a matter of convenience, man. It's like the end of the world. You're gonna fall in love with the first guy that doesn't kill you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what my wife calls our marriage, convenient.
End of the world.
No, that too. So it goes on, because in learning more about the story and all that. So these texts leak and all that. She claims, though, that he sent her an Instagram message out of the blue in June. So this is after they haven't talked in over a year. She already claims that they were together for over a year, but they haven't spoken in over a year. But then in June, he reached out saying, and this is the real kick in the nuts. This is a quote.
Kick in the nuts.
He goes, "Okay, serious question." Levine allegedly wrote in a message on June 1st, "I'm having another baby with my wife, and if it's a girl, I really want to name it Summer after you. Are you okay with that? I'm dead serious." So he was gonna name his baby with his wife after his mistress's name. So, but think about how sick that is, because then you're like what, when she's 5 years old and you're like, "Summer, come here." In the back of your mind, you're like thinking, Summer was that great piece of ass I had a few years ago. Like, that's a weird
every time. Or Summer, come here, meet your new mom. Her name's Summer too.
Yeah, right. So I have a couple more questions about this before we move on to the next story. So her Summer, she lives in Los Angeles. She claims that she only went public with her story because she was sold out by a friend who was the one that actually posted to a tabloid these screenshots of the frisky messages from Adam Levine. But here's where I don't buy it. Okay, she's claiming, hey, I only went public with this because a friend had already sold it out to a tabloid. And so I wanted to get it out there since my name was going to be dragged through the mud as the other woman. And that sounds good on the surface, but how did your friend get screenshots of what Adam Levine was saying to you? Right. Yeah. And it's like, that means she shared it. That means she put it out there, or she let the friend take a photo of her shot. I think this is her getting back at Adam Levine, maybe a little scorned lover kind of a thing. And she let her friend leak it so that she could then come and respond and say, well, I'm not the one who leaked it, but now that it's out there, I want to comment about this, because she's also an Instagram model. And it says that she's gotten, just her post of the screenshots has gotten over 15 million views just in the past few days. So it's good business for her. So I kind of don't buy that this was like, she's the victim here. I think she's not the victim. He didn't rape her. He had a long-term sexual relationship with her, and she knew he was married. So I don't buy this, that she's like this innocent woe is me victim kind of thing.
It baffles me. I'm still stuck on the fact he wanted to name his daughter Summer.
I know.
I like,
oh my gosh.
how do you explain that? Oh, how'd you guys come up with that name? Oh, I was banging this chick, and
Yeah.
oh wait, no,
the month.
I love this summer.
Summer is the best of the seasons. Totally. Yeah, no, it's not only really bad, but like I said, he would have, every man in America would have been on board with him having sex with this hot chick because she is pretty stunning, until you find out his wife was pregnant, and then I think every man's like, "Oh, buddy, like we were with you right up until that point," and then the whole. Guess what? You were free. You were home free. This had never gotten out. She kept it secret, and you reach out a year after. And by the way, what was he trying to accomplish when he reached out in June and after not talking to her for a year? He's trying to rekindle some things like, hey, my wife's pregnant and fat and ugly right now, and I'm looking to get that hot piece of ass. You know that's what he's thinking, right? Like, come on. His wife's super pregnant, and he calls up the girl, the hot 23-year-old that he used to bang on the side. Out of nowhere, he kind of contacts her. That tells me he wasn't getting any prego love at home, and he wanted that hot 23-year-old body, and that's why he reached out and contacted her. And I bet you that's when she said, "Oh, I'm going to go public with this."
Oh yeah. Do you think she sold it, or do you think she just went public to try to get?
I think she made an arrangement. Now, this is all conjecture. I get to say allegedly, so we don't get sued here. My prediction is her and the friend are splitting the money from the tabloid sales. And then she's counting on the extra money she's going to make and all those Instagram views and subscribers.
Yep, and the fans, and then all the Instagram Insta fame is what they call it.
OnlyFans, all the stuff that she's going to do for this.
She
considered part of this payment, and she saw a chance to cash in. She probably didn't think about doing it, and then when he reached back out, she's like, "Oh, I'm going public with this."
That's a gnarly thing to ask, though, and just like, come on, man.
So, by the way, because think about it, he could have named the kid Summer, never said a thing about it, and no one would have known. He reached out to her to let her know that he was going to do it. Mm-hmm. That's where he was.
He wanted to do it.
He wanted to get her back into the fold and all that.
He wanted to do her.
All right. Well, that is story number 1 from this idiot. What do you got?
Story 2.
All right. Story number 2, actually, if you've ever been to my office, which you have, it's full of a couple things, microphones and toys.
Yes, it's true. That's literally all you have in that whole room. Yes.
A couch, a couple microphones, and toys is all I have in here in a printer. So I wanted to go over the 10 not 10, but I wanted to go over the Hall of Fame finalists for this year in the toy category. So the Toy Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Now, let me ask you a question, though, before we get to it. Have you ever in your life had any interest to go visit the Toy Hall of Fame? Like, if you were going on vacation and you found out there was a Toy Hall of Fame, would you go, yeah, I think I want to go see that?
Yes. Oh, was I supposed to answer longer? I didn't know. Like, I want to go, especially after researching this. And then later on, our game is a little connected to this story, so we get to play with that too. So yeah, after all the research, hell yeah, I want to go. The building looks dope. It looks like Legoland, and that music museum in downtown Seattle had a baby. It's really
locally here, near where I live in Texas, they have the Arcade Museum Hall of Fame or something like that. And we went there. It was really expensive.
Why didn't you take me when I was there, jackass?
We'll come back out again and we'll go. But we went there and we went there, and it's cool because you get to play the games, right? So like they talk about Frogger, and then they have like, oh, here's the old Frogger and the new Frogger, and you could sit there and play it. And it's really cool. So I'm guessing this Toy Hall of Fame similar, where you get to actually like play with these toys. I imagine these would be all over the place. Like
a lot of them are on display if they're very old. But if they're not, there's a lot of them there for people to play with. You know, similar like let's go over some of the finalists this year. So things I'll go over some of them, and I thought some of these would be in there already. Let's be honest. Okay, Light Bright.
Yeah, right. Like that's pretty legendary.
I was the little kid when I was playing with that one, so I know it's been around for a long time. And after seeing some of the other ones that are in there that came out a lot later in life, I don't know why Light Bright's not in there already.
Well, the other one that's on there that I think defined not only generation, but it's like Nerf, like Nerf toys. Think of how many Nerf toys and it's like extensions of the toys.
That's actually on the list of finalists this year too, called Nerf toys, and just like a blanket.
Right, and that's kind of my point, right? Like you would think that because if you're telling me all Nerf toys, not just like the Nerf ball, but like all Nerf toys, they have the guns, the bow, they have bow and arrows that have Nerf. I mean,
They have fully automatic guns that shoot Nerf balls at people.
Right. But think about it. That was in my generation, your generation, that was something that we'd play with, but it was more of like a Nerf ball, basketball hoop kind of a thing. Or maybe you'd have a Nerf football or stuff like that. And then like the generation that came right after us in the 90s, that generation had like cool Nerf guns and Nerf whatever. And then in the 2000s, they had like automatic weapons that shot Nerf guns.
Oh, yeah.
Like this has gone over many generations. And that would surprise me that Nerf wasn't already a thing that was in there.
Yeah, no, just like Light Bright, I thought they'd be in there for sure. Not knowing what categorizes as a toy sometimes. Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, not the song, the actual game Bingo. It's a finalist this year, which I would have thought. I mean, I guess it's a game, board game. Yeah, it's a board game. It's a game.
I would say that's pretty lame. I mean, in looking at the nominees, Bingo and a top,
yeah,
which
that's
is essentially just a dreidel, by the way. Like that's not really a toy. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I know that things were boring. I think things were. I get it. Things were boring in like 1842 and all that. And I get it. There wasn't much to do, but staring at a top spinning, I don't see how ever was entertaining at any point. And so I don't understand how that's like a thing that's on there.
Well, more than anything, it just pissed off my parents when they had to walk through the kitchen because that was the only place that had flat flooring. Yeah. Like it was linoleum, of course. It wasn't carpet. So that was the only room I could do it in, or the bathroom. But that room never smelled that great.
And so I've also never heard of Racco. Do you know what Racco
I didn't
is?
know what that was either. That, or I know what a spirograph is, but that's not fun.
Go through some of the other some of the other nominees. What were some of the other ones?
Other nominees we got are the Briar horses, which is funny because my friends had these, my sister had these. They're
my daughter even played with it when she was really
young. They're like plastic horses. That's all they are.
Which, remember how expensive they were? Like you're like, wait, it cost $9.99 for a little plastic horse. Like I remember them just being like so disappointed at how much they cost to buy these stupid things.
Yeah, I didn't know how much stuff costs. I still don't know how much stuff costs. I just buy it and then go in debt. No, the top, we have the spirograph, like I said, Racco, like you said, Pound Puppies. I actually had a couple of those Pound Puppies. Those were dope when they came out.
Yeah, that was a flash in the pound. That didn't really last a long time, but it did spawn a show. I was gonna say it did spawn a TV show, so that's interesting.
Yeah. There's a couple more that I haven't said yet. Phase 10. I don't even know what that is. It's a
fun card game. That's actually a really fun card game that you could play with just a couple people or like a group of people.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Phase 10. It's something that we'll play like when we're bored. But yeah, Phase 10.
Here's the two that I wanted to bring up a little bit more about. First off, Piñata. Is it a toy?
No, it is not.
Come
a toy.
on.
It's a birthday celebration. Yeah,
it's a torture device for little kids. When they can't break it, they cry. One gets hit in the head with a stick. I've seen adults get hit in the head with bats because
it's a dangerous game. And I don't think it's a game. I think it's a celebration thing event. And one thing I never understood about the concept of the piñata is, okay, here's this thing that you're going to bash until it breaks open and all that. Right? You're gonna bash the hell out of it.
And it's
always thing that they liked. It's always thing that they like. It's always like, here's that cartoon, here's Spider-Man. Now beat the shit out of him until he breaks open and candy drops out. It's never like President Trump. Let's beat the hell out of him until this piñata of Trump is dead. You're never hitting something that you hate. You're hitting something that you like until you break it. I never understood that concept.
Yeah, no, I thought that was quite funny too, but I'm pretty sure it would come down to just people beating other celebrity bodies. So I don't think
right?
Yeah, I don't think they want little kids murdering people.
Now, were you going to bring up, because this was a toy that was near and dear to my heart. It was so important to me when I was a little kid. Are you talking He-Man and Masters of the Universe toys?
Yes, and the reason I bring it up is because it did have an era. It had some cartoons. It had a really bad movie with Dolph Lundgren.
That movie was so horrible.
But it got a huge reboot with Kevin Smith on Prime or Hulu or some streaming platform. I think they did get renewed for season 2. But and it's more adult too, because of course Kevin Smith. But my question to you is,
I know it turns into a hardcore porn in season 2. That was really I didn't expect that turn, but
that guy had the head that turned around, so they had to use it for something. But no, do you think that reboot helped this toy come back to the surface to get into this nomination?
A little bit. I think it was also like eBay, because you have a lot of people that are our generation, that kind of tail end Gen Xers, where that was our toy. It meant a lot to us in childhood. And when we got old and we had some money, we started collecting all of the toys that we either remembered or that we were never allowed to have because we couldn't afford it.
So my neighbor had these toys. I never had them.
Right. And I mean, I had 2 or 3, and then it was me just like salivating over what my friends had that we couldn't afford. I think a lot of it that caused the rise of the popularity of it is all these kids from the 80s are like, hey, we're in our 40s now. And we're all like, I want to buy the castle, the Grayskull castle set. I want to have I'm drawing a blank on what the tiger, the saber-tooth thing was called, but like you're kind of like buying these things now, and they're going for good money. I think that's what kind of Hollywood or whomever makes these cartoons, or the resurgence of it's like, a lot of people in their 40s with disposable income are starting to collect this shit because it reminds them of their childhood. I think that was a big reason why. Same thing with kind of Nerf toys, right? Like Nerf toys makes me feel nostalgic. I feel like
Nerf battles in our house at least once a week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. it was great. Some of them are stupid. Like I said, the top spirograph I wouldn't really consider a toy. The spirograph is an art thing that you do. I wouldn't call that a toy. Racco, it's like if I can't even name it, it doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Pinata's not a pinata thing. Phase 10's decent. Nerf toys gets my vote. Masters of the Universe gets my vote. Light Bright probably gets my vote. That's about it. I mean, as far as from that list,
the horses I see getting in there because they're so old. 1951, they're item type thing right now. I'm not sure Masters of the Universe is I don't know. I guess it is big enough, but yeah, I mean, I played with it a ton as a kid at my neighbor's house when they had it.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So out of these ones, which ones? Because I think they only take 3. Which ones do you think will get taken in?
Which ones do I think? Okay, so I'm not going to go which ones I would vote for. I'm going to go the ones I think will get in. I think Nerf is in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to do something like Bingo because of its age, and it's just like it's considered an old game, even though I wouldn't vote for it.
1530 it was made.
And then I think they're going to do Light Bright because that was in the 60s as well.
I was thinking Light Bright is definitely due. I honestly, I don't know about Bingo though. I mean, I see what you're saying there, but if they were going to do that, they'd probably do something a little more recent, like the horses, like the Briar horses or something. So
yeah, maybe.
But the pinata better not get voted in.
No way. If the pinata gets voted in, I'm going to find who the president of the National Toy Museum is. I'm going to make him into a pinata, and then I will then beat that pinata and make till candy falls
in
out.
the middle of a park, and then all the candy will come out, but it's going to be licorice, fireballs, and anything else red,
and Tootsie Rolls too. Yeah.
Story 3.
For story 3, if I may. Story 3 is not a long one here. This is actually just something that, God, it made me laugh. And when stories make me laugh, I want to talk about it. So the Beyond Meat nonsense, which I've personally have never had or even tried because I don't know, meat is delicious and I don't need fake meat. But the Beyond Meat movement is pretty big. And the guy who is like the COO, like that, one of the, like literally you don't get much higher than the COO. His name's Doug Ramsey. Okay. So this is a short statement. It says, from the El Segundo, California-based company, said that Ramsey has been suspended effective immediately because he was charged with felony battery. Now, you might think, oh, okay, so big deal. The guy from Beyond Meat, got
E2 movement or something.
Yeah, or something happened. He maybe got into a fight, whatever. Yeah. Well, he did get into a fight. He got in trouble for making a terroristic threat and an incident. What? He was accused of biting a man's nose, which I would like to point out is made of real meat.
Yeah, actually, and that's kind of something that most people don't eat.
So he's from El Segundo, but yet he was in Arkansas for some reason. And it says this occurred out of the football game that was between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Missouri State Bears in Arkansas. And basically what happened is it's your typical road rage scenario, cut off car. he yelling and screaming back and forth. He gets out of the car, throws a
goes,
punch, but then he bites the man's nose.
I'm like, it's like a usual road rage where the guy bites the other guy. Like usually,
Right. But like now here's the thing. If you're the other guy, if you're the one who got his nose bit, aren't you at a certain point thinking like, isn't this the guy who's like anti-meat? And like this is the guy who's anti-meat. And at that moment, he sure was pretty hungry for meat.
At that moment, I bet he didn't know who he was. So I bet when he found out later, he sued for more.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. After, I'm sure a week later after the story break, he's like, oh man, my face hurts even more now all of a sudden. And yeah.
Oh man, he has partnerships with McDonald's, Panda Express, and KFC.
Oh my. Well, and think about if you're in an altercation with someone, think about the amount of anger it takes for you to swoop in, grab the person's head, bring them in close, and chomp down on their nose. Like that's legit anger that you're feeling, and a little crazy. I admit, to bite a person in the nose, I would say you kind of probably have to not be fully, I don't know, sane, because biting someone's nose is weird. But then when you're the COO of Beyond Meat, I kind of would say that biting anything that's meat would kind of go against your company's values.
Is that Oswald Cobblepot that did that? Do you get that reference at all?
Oswald? Oh yeah.
Batman Returns. He the Penguin, which is played by Danny DeVito beautifully, bites a man's nose off.
That's true.
I think not all the way off.
No, not all the way off, but he has like blood all around his lips.
Yeah,
and face
that was gnarly. I was thinking of that when you were explaining everything, and I'm like, oh, gnarly. Because he was like, come here, a little closer.
I think as punishment, this guy should be forced to eat nothing but meat for a year.
From McDonald's.
That's not real meat though either. That's also beyond. That's also beyond meat. It's just not the veggie stuff. It's like raccoon tail and
Beyond Meat is the stuff that's made of plants. Not quite meat is the stuff that's made of leftover part.
Yes, it's true. All right, man. Well, that's the end of story number 3 for me, and I believe it's time for our game, right?
I don't know. I'll figure something out to get the game started, but this is the first game, but it's going to go back to the second story about the Hall of Fame toys. So this is called the
Hall of Fame toy game.
Okay, so here it is. It's 3 questions. I'm going to ask Eric 3 questions about toys that are in the Hall of Fame.
So not the nominees, toys that are already in the Hall of Fame.
Correct. These toys are in the Hall of Fame and or not, depending on the question. 3 questions. If he gets 2 right, he wins. If he gets 2 wrong, I win. Oh, no. This is going to be fun. All right, first question. Name the toy that isn't in the Hall of Fame. You've got the Atari 2600.
Okay.
A rock. A stick. A bicycle. Or a cardboard box.
Wow. Wait a minute. You're throwing me some curveballs here. So
I'm not lying to you. One of those. Wow.
Okay.
I need you. The rest of them are.
I need you to name those again, because that kind of blew my mind. Wait, you're telling me only one of those is? How many of those are incorrect and how many of those are correct?
There's only one that is not in the Hall of Fame.
My God. There's only. That means the other ones are in?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. Read those again to me.
Okay. The first one is an Atari 2600.
Okay.
A rock. A stick.
That's not a rock. It's a rock lobster.
Bicycle. Okay. Or a cardboard box.
Okay. The cardboard box seems a little insulting, right?
Okay, so let's narrow it down though. Let's knock some off. Which one?
Yeah, okay. The cardboard box seems a little insulting. I get it. When you have young kids and it's Christmas and you paid all that money for that expensive toy and they wind up playing with the box more. You know, it's an old joke. It's an old stand-up comedy bit. But no, the box is not an actual toy. So I
either is a rock or a stick.
Okay, but the rock was a pet rock. They did have the pet rock in the 70s.
That's not a toy, it's a pet.
I know, but I think that they sold it as a toy. And a stick, you can kind of play fetch with it. And what was the first? The Atari. Now the Atari seems like an absolute no-brainer. And I think that's what you're trying to do here, is you're trying to throw in something that seems so obvious with the other weird ones, hoping I would change the word. So in an act of psychology, I'm going to pick the Atari 2600 is not in the Toy Hall of Fame. Damn it.
Okay. That was fun. No, actually, you were leaning toward it a little bit. The rock is the fake one. It's not in the Hall of Fame.
But yet a stick and a cardboard. Now the cardboard box one I thought was for sure, but I thought that was so obvious that you were throwing me off with a fake one. So
Yeah.
So wait, the cardboard box. What was their? Did they give a reasoning for why the cardboard box?
Well, it was
is-
inducted in 2005, if you can translate that over. But the cardboard box was invented in the 1600s. It's just, a box. It just came with stuff in it. Like hat boxes and stuff back in the day. The kids would play with the hat boxes their dads had and stuff.
It's really shitty to be in old. It's really shitty to be in old times, right? Like,
really?
Hey, congratulations, kids! I got you this box. Thanks, Dad.
Go through my Facebook feed. You'll see all my kids playing with boxes at some time or another.
Oh my
in the front
goodness.
room.
Oh, okay. So
Here's the thing that gets me.
Yeah.
Stick.
Well, you could play fetch with it, I guess. But you're right. That's not something you buy. Oh, neither is a rock, and neither is a cardboard box. Man, that's a tough one. I don't get. Yeah.
The stick, I don't get. But when you said play fetch, it's funny. The picture of the stick is a guy and his dog.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. I can get that. But yeah, the cardboard box thing absolutely blows my mind. I would have if you would have given me 4 guesses, the cardboard box would have been my last choice, as one that's in, because that's amazing. All right. Well, I failed at the first one.
All right, you're down 0-1. Next question. There were 3 toys inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Okay. I'm gonna name. You got to name the one that wasn't inducted. I'm going to name the 3. I'm going to name 4 different toys. You tell me the one that was not inducted last year.
Okay, so not inducted. Okay.
Last year. There were 3 inducted last year. This one was not inducted last year. Okay.
All right.
First one is Risk, the board game.
The board game. All right, classic. I love Risk. Okay.
American Girl dolls.
Both my daughters had those. Okay.
A jump rope.
Okay.
Or sand.
You mean at the beach? Sand?
Like sand. Like a sandbox.
Sand.
Sand.
Did you fill the toy sand in a cardboard box?
I don't know.
Bury a stick in it and a rock?
I was going to say, if there's a rock in the sand, is it a toy too?
Oh my God. Wait, so Risk, a jump rope. What was the other one?
American Girl
doll.
Which I'm like, the toy shouldn't be driven by social status. Only rich people can afford.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and the only reason we got an American Girl doll was because it was handed down to my daughter. I could not. We did have to go buy some clothes, which was
more than your clothes.
I know, it was really expensive. I'm gonna say that the American Girl doll is in. I feel pretty confident about that.
Okay.
I would say Risk has got to be in too, because that's an older board game that's been around since the 50s, and so I'm guessing that game is already in. So for me, it comes down to sand and a jump rope. Now, a jump rope is obviously a toy. I would say a jump rope's a toy, right? Kids play jump rope, you play old games, and the jump rope's been around a long time.
And remember, these were 3 toys were inducted last year. You're telling me the one that wasn't inducted last year. A tough question.
I'm going to say maybe you're trying to trick me again. There's no way that sand is even in. I don't even think sand is in. I think you're a stupid liar who's from Liar Town, USA. And I think that sand is the toy that is not only not inducted last year, I don't even think sand is in it. Ooh, look, it's rock and soil and minerals. It's sand, the toy. No, I don't get it. I say sand is not it. Jesus Christ.
Sand.
Are you
American
kidding me?
Girl dolls and Risk were nominated last year.
So it was jump rope. So I was right on Risk and American Dolls. I knew that I felt those would be in. Oh my God, sand. Okay, wait a minute.
Sand.
So sand, that thing that's been around since the beginning of time? In 2021, they're like, hey, you know what hasn't gotten its due? Sand.
Let me read what it says.
Okay.
Sand may be the most universal toy in the world. From a geologist's perspective, sand is a dry, gritty material consisting of small, loose pieces of rock, soil, minerals, and gemstones. And then it just goes ... if you want to read more.
I mean, I get it. You could be at the beach. You can make sand castles and all that. But,
people take that as a career now.
I guess so. I mean, you know what?
So here was why.
I still think sand is more likely of a Toy Hall of Fame than a cardboard box.
This is why it was difficult, because the jump rope was inducted, but back in 2000.
Oh, Yeah, because there someone on that voting committee is like, "Hey guys, it's time we talk about sand."
Yeah,
and
right.
How important? Like, okay, sure.
They were on their retreat in Hawaii. That's why.
Yes.
All right, so I win because
I failed.
you wrong.
Yeah, you won.
But I want to ask you the last one just for the shit of it.
Okay.
Because I put the work in. Okay, so this one is which of these board games are not in the Hall of Fame? Are not in the Hall of Fame. All right, I'm going to name off 5. You tell me the one that's not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Operation, Clue, Twister, Life, or Scrabble.
I feel Scrabble's got to be in. I'm going to say, I even think Twister might be in. Clue. Clue is not in. Damn it.
You suck at this game.
I really am bad.
But I'm really good at it.
Well, shit. So I'm a complete loser. I think is what I'm not only an idiot, but I'm a loser. And so that's how that game goes. And Adam Levine is a cheater on his pregnant wife. The Beyond Meat guy doesn't seem to be against meat when it is someone else's nose. And the Toy Hall of Fame is filled with weirdos who make weird choices. I think that's what we learned today.
Yeah, Operation was the one that's not in the Toy Hall of Fame.
Okay.
But you want to know a few things that are in here that I think are absurd. I'll go through real quick before we get out of here. We have where is it? A blanket.
Wow.
A blanket.
Okay.
A kite. I understand a kite.
Kite. Yeah. Okay, I get that.
There's there's so many in here. Play-Doh, marbles, bubbles, Barbie, Legos.
I would say bubbles makes sense.
Skateboard.
Oh yeah, okay. I would say that's more of a sport than a toy, but
Here's one that I'm like, really? The Super Soaker.
Ah, interesting. I'd put that in that category of Nerf. Like the Super Soaker used to be just some water pistols, and then now it's like they have like pretty complicated and like elaborate Super Soakers. Yeah.
Magic the Gathering came in a couple years ago too. So, all right, that was it. Hall of Fame toy game. You lose.
I lose. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us on our 3, 2, 1 podcast here. I had a lot of fun doing it. I like the stories that we talked about, and I like the game, even though I found out how much of a loser I am. There's lots of other great content on This Is Funner, Chris. Like what, for instance?
We have a show called Listen to This, where some guy tries to brag about how much information he knows about musical history. But
no, that guy's such a
you learn a few things from time to time, so that's kind of fun. Also, not the inappropriate ones are the ones to go for. Those are hilarious.
Yes.
Also, Conversate with Us, that I do with my wife, where we talk about food and make fun of our family. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there it is.
And a whole bunch of other ones.
All right, everybody, join us next week for more goodness on 3, 2, 1, and have a safe weekend, everybody.
Catch you later.
Thank you for listening to 321 The Pod. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. See you soon.
This is Funner.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.